You know that feeling. You land somewhere incredible, Maui maybe, all set for sun and sand, and then bam, that rental car quote.
Oh, yeah. Sticker shock.
Totally. We're talking like potentially upwards of $20 extra per day just because you picked it up at the airport.
A lot.
Seriously, makes you wonder if that convenience is worth, I don't know, a whole luau dinner budget right there. Ever felt that? That rental counter budget crunch?
That's super common, yeah.
Yeah.
And it can definitely put a damper on arriving in paradise. But today, we're going deeper.
Much
We're
deeper.
really going to dissect the whole Maui rental car price situation right now. We've got some great data, mostly from a blog that tracks this stuff really closely, up to the first week of April 2024.
And we've layered in some newer info too, right, from more recent posts.
Exactly. Updates from late April and even early May 2025, just to get the absolute latest picture.
Perfect. So if Maui's on your radar, listen up. This is your kind of insider guide. We want to arm you with the info to navigate this, like a pro. Not just numbers, but understanding why the prices are what they are, the trends, and yeah, how you can save some money.
And our main source here, this blog, it's really focused. They pull weekly, monthly data from one of the big travel aggregator sites.
Okay.
And they mix that with their own data because they're actually a local rental company too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and those recent posts from late April, early May 2025, they really help see the current trends.
Okay, great. So let's dive back to that early April 2024 data first. What were the baseline numbers looking like then?
Right. So as of April 7th, 2024, the absolute cheapest advertised weekly rate for a car was $203.40.
203.40. Okay.
Now, key thing, that was off airport. Included a shuttle, but still off airport.
And if you wanted the convenience,
Right.
there at the OGG Airport Rent-A-Car Center.
Then the lowest advertised rate jumped to $292.04 per week.
Yeah, that's almost $90 more just for the location.
Pretty much. And just to be clear, that was for a standard 7-day rental, picking up Monday, April 8th, dropping off the next Monday, the 15th.
Got it. And that $292, did that include everything?
It included all the mandatory taxes and fees, but, and this is important, it didn't include any upsells.
Like the extra insurance or paying for gas up front.
Exactly. So your actual out-the-door cost could easily climb higher than that $292 figure.
Right, okay. So that's a snapshot from early April 24. But prices change, obviously. What about seasonal swings? Does it get much cheaper or more expensive?
Oh, definitely. Maui rental rates have a clear rhythm. The blog identifies the off-season, or like shoulder seasons, usually mid-April to mid-June, and then again August through September. And actually, that recent data from early May 2025, it shows rates have settled right into that lower off-season range now.
Good news if you're planning a trip soon, then.
Yeah, it seems like it.
So when are the wallets really feeling the pinch? Peak season.
That'd be your peak seasons. The biggest one is usually January through March, winter escape time.
Makes sense.
And there's another, maybe slightly lower peak, mid-June to the end of July, summer vacation crowd.
Right.
And the blog really drove this home looking back at Valentine's Day 2024.
Ooh, Valentine's in Maui sounds amazing, but expensive for wheels.
The rates were pretty striking. The off-airport price climbed over $400 a week.
Over 400. Just off airport.
And the airport rate, around $600 a week.
Whoa. That's, more than double what they saw in April. Really shows you what demand does.
Absolutely. It's a massive difference. Now, the blog also gave us some history looking back 9 months before that April 24 snapshot. What did the monthly averages show? Looking at July 23 through March 24 gives you that broader view. And what really stands out is the impact of the Lahaina wildfires in August 2023.
Yeah, that must have hit tourism hard.
Exactly. And you saw it in the rental rates. From August 23 all the way through January 24, the average costs, both off-airport and airport, were unusually low.
Even over Christmas and New Year's?
Even then, yeah. Which is normally a super high demand time.
Makes sense, tragically. Lower demand means lower prices.
Right. The blog notes that was definitely an anomaly, not typical for those months. But then, moving into February and March of 24, rates started climbing back up.
Okay, what were those numbers?
February 24 averaged $241 off airport, $368 at the airport. March was slightly higher, $246 off airport, and $379 at the airport.
So things were kind of recovering by spring 24. Let's go back to that airport versus off-airport gap. We saw the weekly difference was big. What actually causes that extra cost? Is it just fees?
It's a couple things. First, yes, there are specific airport taxes and fees you just can't avoid if you pick up there.
Uh-huh.
The blog estimates those add up to around $75 per week, so just over $10 a day.
Okay, so that's part of it. But $10 a day doesn't fully explain that $90 weekly difference we saw earlier.
Exactly, you're right. On top of those fees, it seems the companies charge what the blog calls a convenience premium.
Ah, paying for the privilege of walking straight to the car.
Basically, yeah. And that premium isn't fixed. It goes up and down with demand.
So when it's busy?
When it's busy, that convenience could easily cost you an extra $20 or more per day. That's on top of the $10 plus in fees.
Wow. Okay, that's a huge insight. That shuttle ride suddenly looks a lot more appealing.
It definitely can save you significant cash.
Now, we've talked mostly about the big names you find on like Expedia or Kayak, but the blog mentioned local Maui companies too.
Yes, and this is where, smart travelers can sometimes find really good deals, those big aggregator sites. They don't list everyone.
Right.
There are quite a few local Maui-based rental companies, and their prices can be different, especially, it seems, during those peak times. Frank's Friendly Cars, the blog's publisher, is one of them.
And didn't they have a great example from February 24?
They did. Peak season February, right? Aggregator sites showing lowest rates over $400 a week. Frank's, their company, was apparently offering cars for around $200 a week.
That's less than half. Huge difference.
Massive. But the blog is fair. They also point out that by early April 24, when overall rates were lower.
The gap wasn't as big.
Right. Frank's was at $175 a week then, while the aggregator low was $203. Still cheaper, but not that dramatic $200 plus saving.
Okay, that's a really important nuance. So going local isn't always a massive win, but it's definitely worth checking, especially if you're traveling during busy season.
Absolutely. It's another avenue to explore.
And if people want to find these local options, did the blog give any pointers?
Yeah, they actually put up a post just on that, April 21st, 2024, called Cheapest Rates from Local Maui Car Rental Companies, April 2024. That'd be the place to start.
Excellent tip. Okay, so we've covered rates, seasons, airport versus off-airport, local options. But what about those sneaky extra costs? Hidden fees.
Ah, yes, the bane of many travelers. The blog definitely warns about this. You see a super low advertised rate.
Like $140 a week.
Exactly the example they used, $140 advertised. But then you add the mandatory rental vehicle tax. That was $52 a week.
Okay.
And the general excise tax, another $6.59 or so. Suddenly, your $140 car is actually $198.59.
Oof, that's almost $60 more just in taxes and standard fees they didn't advertise up front.
Precisely. Those are the kinds of hidden fees they mean. Not truly hidden, maybe, but not always obvious in the initial quote.
So frustrating. Really got to read the fine print and look for the total cost.
You really do.
Yeah.
And again, they dedicated a whole post to it back in February 24. Maui car rental taxes and fees and hidden fees. Worth a read before booking anything.
Definitely. Now, since the blog is run by Frank's Friendly Cars, did they mention any deals they had going on back in April 24?
They did. At that time, they had a discount offer running until October 1st. It was $25 a day for economy cars,
Okay.
$30 a day for crossovers or small SUVs, and $35 for a regular SUV. They also mentioned long-term rates, like starting at $700 a month.
Good to know, especially for longer stays. And they have a booking page on their site, presumably?
Yeah, they directed people to their booking page to check current availability and make a reservation if interested.
Right. Now, you mentioned those more recent updates, late April, early May 2025. What was the absolute latest news?
So the post from April 27th, 2025, basically confirmed what we suspected from this seasonal trend. It said prices had settled into that off-season range by early May 25.
So lower rates were holding, basically.
Seems that way. And then May 1st, 2025, they posted about taxes. Apparently, the Hawaii legislature finished its session without passing any new car rental taxes specifically for Maui for 2025.
Oh, interesting. So no new tax hikes on the horizon, at least for now.
At least for the immediate future, which is, probably welcome news for renters.
Definitely. Okay, let's pull this all together. If someone's planning that Maui trip, what are the absolute must-know takeaways from all this?
Okay, key points. 1. Right now, early May 2025, prices seem to be in that lower off-season range. Good time to book, maybe.
Great start.
2, renting off airport, even when the shuttle, is almost certainly going to save you significant money compared to the airport desks. Remember those fees plus the convenience premium.
Crucial.
3, local companies, like Frank's, can offer big savings, especially during peak season, but you got to compare. Check them against the aggregators because the advantage changes.
Both. Got it.
And 4, watch out for those hidden fees. Always, always confirm the total, all-in price with all taxes and fees before you click book.
That's rock solid advice. So bottom line, research is your friend.
Absolutely.
Check the big sites, check the local guys, think about when you're going, because that really moves the needle on price. And triple check that final cost.
Exactly. A little bit of homework up front can mean, quite a bit more spending money for the fun stuff on Maui.
For sure. And maybe a final thought to leave folks with. With these price swings and these local options popping up,
Yeah.
how do you think getting around islands like Maui might change?
Hmm.
Are rental cars always going to be king despite the cost? Or could we see, I don't know, other ways of exploring becoming more popular? Something to think about maybe as you plan that next escape?